Ball joints don't feel too bad. Wheel bearings could use a lube. Alright guys, first look under the car. Here we go. Guess we'll start up front here. Nice looking steering box on her. Doesn't appear to ever have been in a major collision up here. There's my oil plug. I had to silicone the heck out of that because that was stripped out. There's a little starter that could. It's one of these original big boys. They always do quite well. Of course, lots of pine needles here and there. Gaping holes in the floor. A little mud there from hauling it out of the bush. Looks like green paint on the tranny pan there. Looks to be maybe turbo 350 by the shape of that oil pan. Yeah. What do we got for your rear end here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's 12 volt, and she's got that weird little shape to her. I'm not familiar enough with my rear ends to know what you would call that. One of you guys will let me know if that's any good. Pretty original looking shocks in it. And that gas tank's pretty well fallen right out of it. We got this one little strap hanging on. Yeah, it's probably full of all kinds of crud. Oh, that's why it sounds like a hot rod. We got the vented muffler. Or just gaping holes here. Yeah, anyway, what I really wanted to see under here was the frost plug situation. Find out why it's leaking so bad. That one doesn't look too bad. It's got the plugs in it. That frost plug appears okay. Of course, there's probably one behind that motor mount. Up behind the starter. Oh yeah, there we go. I see it. Right up in there. I don't know if you guys can see it, but that frost plug up there behind the starter and the motor mount has been pushed out. So that's where all our coolant's going. Guess we'll have to pull a starter out. Maybe remove this motor mount. Well, obviously remove the motor mount to get to that. But at least now I know. Of course, I haven't yet changed that oil filter. I wanted to make sure it wasn't knocking. I think it's pretty safe to say the motor is worth at least getting a new oil filter at this point. So yeah, that's the underside of the car. So now that we got the car kind of cleaned up a little, I'm thinking rather than, do the important stuff like the floor so you don't fall through, you might as well try and make the face of this thing look a little prettier. I've got this Cadillac grill off a 65 Cadillac Fleetwood. It looks like with a little finessing and trimming, she'll fit right in there. So let's take a look. Yeah, sort of got the right shape to it. If I zing her off there, at least since it's missing that portion anyways. And then, you know, give her a little zip over here. A little bendy bend. I think it'll look good in there. It beats buying one. But first of all, I gotta get what's remaining of the old original grill out of here. Okay, we got our initial trim done. Now, this is a little pointy here in the front. I'd like to cut into this groove here and make this match the bed and the bumper before I cut it to length. And this will probably bring it right out so that this angle part meets that a lot closer. I don't think this is going to look half bad. Alright. We got our bend here looking pretty darn good. Guess the next thing I'm going to want to do is cut her to length that way. I'd like it to sit right up against these existing brackets. Alright. Getting close here. Let's see. Well, we're getting there. The hood more or less situated there. Yeah, looks like we will need to take her down just a little bit more on the top or the bottom here. Be nice to set it in a little further so it sits inside the front of the hood, but this is, I think that's gonna work. What do you guys think? Yay or nay? Better than nothing. Tell you that much. And I guess I gotta track down some of these small headlights. Those aren't cheap these days. Well, guy decided to go ahead and shorten her up a little more and actually recess it back in here, and I think that looks a lot better. What do you guys think? I think I may need to fold these pieces over for mounting purposes. But once I do that, the grill will kind of line up right with these bezels. Yeah. Suppose the other thing I could do is bring it out just a little so it lines up. Well, I don't know. I kind of like where it's sitting. It would be nice if it perfectly matched the bumper here and then kind of hooked in behind these maybe. Alright, nope. Sitting here staring at it. Made one more revision. Decided to actually cut a little slot in the next section of the grill so it would slide right onto the lip of the bumper. Fill that gap right in. And that looks the best to me, I think. The hood still closes nice. If we do get a hold of our hood trim one day, it'll cover that up nice, I think. And you know, it's better than a gaping hole in the front of the car for sure. Yep, that's the winner. Well, guy just went rummaging through his stash of headlights, and I did find a couple options here. We got these kind of tractor accessory lights that could probably fit in there somehow. And then I have one are the proper size here. So at least there's that. And we'll try and install at least one of these here for now and see how it looks. That's going to transform the front of this car for sure. Alright, yeah, headlights just make a big difference for sure. Let's say we see if she does a burnout. Who's down for that? Might have to block the front tires. Got the posy rear end. Guess the guy's gonna have to back out, straighten her out now. But that answers that question. Okay, more screwing around. Let's get her up in the air and get to work on them expansion plugs. Alright, so we are up under the car here now. I'm gonna try get these motor mounts out of here and lift the motor up just enough to access this frost plug. Okay, well, there's our motor mount. There's actually a freeze plug sitting right on it here. Yeah, here's another one halfway out. Looks like somebody actually replaced that one. Huh, and there's the one I already took out. Okay, so it's just the two. So this has been done before. One of them popped out and someone replaced that one. Didn't quite get her in all the way. Maybe we can just smash that in the rest of the way. Not sure about this side. I mean, it looks okay. I don't know if I should pull that mount off while I'm at it, but could just do these two and fill her up and see what happens. Okay, a little silicone RTV around there for good measure. Okay, well, it does fit in there pretty nice. Just tap her in now. Beauty. So, means we still got one more. I think I gotta knock that other guy out of there and put it in properly. Let's see. There we go. Okay. Okay. I'd say those are in there. Now, I'm going to go ahead and slap this motor mount back in. We'll change on this old Motomaster oil filter while we're here. And we'll drop her down and fill her up. And we'll just, we'll take a gamble on this side for now. We'll see what happens. I wonder if that old fuel pump's gonna work. Might be something to play with in the future here. Well, I was about to pour some water into this thing and then I remembered the radiator was leaking too. I don't know how well you guys can see that, but it's actually torn pretty bad there. I'm gonna do my best to pull some of them fins away and straighten that out and JB weld the heck out of that, and we'll see what happens. I think it's okay on the inside, maybe. Alright, well, it's the next day here, guys. I did end up getting a good glob of JB weld on there. I let that harden overnight, so we're about ready to dump in. I'm just going to go straight water for now, just to make sure this actually holds liquid. Other thing I did here while I was waiting, I replaced this power steering return line, so that stops puking everywhere. And actually hooked up a fuel line to the fuel pump and filled it with gas. And I also dumped some down the output line here too. So once we do crank her over, if this starts spraying out everywhere, I guess we'll say the pump's good and we'll hook it up. But for now, I'm gonna set you guys down here and you tell me if it starts dripping. Yell really loud. Fill her up. Uh-oh. Oh, bugger. Okay. I guess the frost plugs on the passenger side leak too. Well, I guess we're not done yet. Oh, and this is leaking. It's leaking above. maybe from this fin, but my patch seems to be holding, so we got a little more work to do here. Okay, well, so you can see things escalated rather quickly here. I got fed up with this, ended up just cutting some of the passageways right out, folding them over and gooing the ends up. Of course, there's still a leak right here, but it's going to contain it in there for the most part. It's not dripping underneath. Well, so far it seems to be working. See if I can't move her around behind the garage here. Beauty. Listen to that thing idle, hey? We're gonna bump the idle up just a little here. The high idle circuit. Oil might be a little high still. Hopefully we didn't get a bunch of gas in there again. Seems to be fairly viscous. There we go. Get some more water in there. We probably just ran out of fuel. I know I didn't have much left. Yep. Oh well. We got a little heat in her anyways. We do actually have a battery light there. See, this is Jen. That comes on. I drilled out the ignition, and also you open this door, that little light comes on back there. We got one of them anyway, not this one. So some things are coming back to life in here. Shut up. Okay, go. Ignition off. I was wondering what's left to my headlight switch here. I don't know if it's this guy. Doesn't quite look right. Some kind of toggle switch there. Dimmer. Is that all we got? Ah, there's some cut wires there. That's probably for the headlight switch. Yeah. Unless this, whoops, oh, that's the cigarette lighter. And we got our fan. Of course, that doesn't work. Yeah, so I suppose we're gonna finish off this particular video here for the moment. Show you guys, get you caught up to speed on what we've been doing with this thing. I know my dad's coming back into town in a couple days. Maybe we'll bleed the brakes, get some more fuel, and take this thing for a spin down the road. Yeah, so thanks for sticking around, guys.
And if you haven't seen, of course, all the videos leading up to this, there's 8 of them. Go back and check all those out. You can see how we dug this car out of the forest. It sat there since the early to mid 80s. She was locked right up solid. We managed to break her free, and she runs and drives. So that's pretty wicked.